I'm that girl who wants to ask you one important thing today. Are you happy? Are you happy? When I did a recent session and I asked the subconscious a personal question, me, it's all about me again, isn't it? Not really, but I never want to do things that my subconsciouses and my guides would be like, oh God, please, no, don't do that for us, because that would just give us so much more extra work, you little monkey, stop it. So I always want to just double check with them for some big things that come into my life. And so I don't try to bother them too much, but I was allowed to ask some private questions in a private session with one of my favorite people. And so it was fantastic, and I really appreciated their perspective once again. But what it really dawned on me was this. I'm asking them for a change in my life, a big change in my life, a huge, big change in my life, in terms of where we live and the property we are living in. Been here for 11 years and feeling this really interesting pull to change. Now I know that I could apply it to, we're just as a family getting prepared emotionally to detach from this house that we've lived in for all this time and get ready for the bigger shift to, this fantastic new planet, which is called New Earth, which is super far away from here, but has got fantastic experiences and truly, truly, truly everything our family would ever wish and more would be occurring on that planet. And it is everything that we've only ever hoped for not only us and our family, but for everyone. We want this for everyone so much, because we've had this density for so long in history. People I know, thousands of lives here in this density. Do you think they're tired? We know they're tired. And so, this is a great gift, a great New Earth, and everything that New Earth has to give people is fantastic. And it heals me emotionally, knowing that everything that people are having to experience now is intensified experience to be ready to be able to receive the higher frequencies. We are being burnt alive emotionally with our experiences right now to really purge out all of that, all those inner works, all that trauma, all of that stuff that's been lingering. And so anyway, me going along and just making sure my teams are all on board with this, and that it is okay for me to start thinking about moving. Of course, I know that if I was not supposed to move, even if they're like, yeah, sure, go for it, clean your house, sell it, see if we care, kind of thing. And they would know there's no way we would let that happen, because the energy grid that I've built up and all of this stuff that I know I have actively been a part of, the house would never sell if that's not supposed to be. So I know even just asking them, they were going to give me the truth, and I'm open to the truth. And if I just assumed, oh, well, I can use my free will, I can live anywhere I want, I can do anything I want, blah, 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 through my big Mr. Ego. The reality is my teams know better than me, and they will literally stop sales, literally make my house invisible so no one can buy it, if that is exactly what they're wanting. So instead of that roller coaster of emotions, I thought I would just ask them directly, what do you think, guys? Am I allowed to go? And I kind of wanted permission. No tears today. I wanted permission just to double check, because I don't want to be part of a problem, and I always want to be a part of a solution. And I was just worried that if I removed myself from this area and shifted over 11 hours drive from here, there would be some problems. And so, I'm super cautious, and I want to double check if everything was going to be okay. And they said that, it would be fine. Both places would be fine. Both places would be fine. They said I would still be able to be of service in both places. And then what they said to me, next, which was really sweet of them. And, you know, it really kind of brings it back to it just being simple. They just said, we want you to be happy. We just want you to be happy. And whatever you choose, we will support that, because we need you and want you to be happy. And it was just, it's so beautiful. They love us so much and they want us to be okay in so many ways. And I know that, you know, in lots of sessions I've been talking about, you know, love yourself, love others, be of service, process all of your emotions, forgive everyone, love everyone, stop looping into that frustration of, you know, when people weren't kind to us or whatever, like, you know, really drop all of that. Because it's blocking us from connecting into others and you know, all that stuff, right? They've said that once or twice. But for them to just simply say, really clearly, they just want me happy. I don't think my house was making me unhappy, but this density here is just too intensive. And and I know that I need to balance myself more. And I know that I can send lots of love and healing and all that stuff remotely anyway. So I don't need to physically be here. But I kind of have this worry, and I mentioned this other day, when people are like gagging to get to the new earth. Are you trying to avoid something? You know, are you trying to avoid doing all of your inner work here? Now, energetically here in Wellington, I've met lots of spiritual egos and not that many true grounded in people who are really being of service, honestly, because they still haven't touched any of their inner work. And so, you know, I'm finding it really interesting to sort of feel into people's egos and a whole lot of stuff here. And while it's great that I have all these online communities of profound, true, good people who are doing their inner work at a rapid rate, I'm kind of feeling like I actually could be tempted quite a lot to go into a rural setting and just be able to not hold anyone's density, because I feel like I've been holding a lot of people's density for a long time here. When I moved to Wellington, so I was born here and I went up north and did my schooling up there, and I came back to Wellington for varsity. When I got back here, it was so dense. I was incredibly sick, like incredibly sick. The energy here was horrific. And it took me quite some time to get out of that sickness. And I asked, it was like glandular fever. And so I would literally go into a new room or a new store and my glands would physically swell. And so I was transmuting all this energy and doing all this other, fantastically fun, doesn't come with a manual of second wave volunteer work. And, it really screwed me over emotionally because I just was almost allergic to this town and then having to go to the varsity. So, I have done this, being of service to Wellington for so long, and I'm just feeling a little bit drained, and I'm not seeing too many people really motivated to be of serious service and step up, because they're still focusing on not doing any of their inner work and all that sort of stuff. And it's not a judgment, it's an observation. And, I can respect all people's choices, but I just feel like it is time for me to understand that there is not just this one choice of living. And, even if, I know this is super personal, so sorry. And I did want to talk about this yesterday, but they wanted other stuff to be squeezed out of me. But I wanted to share this with you because I do feel like you're my family, and I want to share my personal journey And I have to say this to you, which is really strange for me. I've been like cleaning like a little ninja and feverishly. And I have cleaned dust piles that are older than my children. Okay. So like there is that level of intensity in my life right now. And when I was talking to one of my dear friends about it, as I was sweating and puffing away doing a voice message, she said, you are clearing out and cleaning and cleansing your personal life, you know, all of that sort of declutter, and all of that declutter and all that dust did not give me joy at all. And so even if the house doesn't sell, I am still positively going to be grateful for the experience to actually have a truly reorganized, cleaner home. And, you know, I am happy for that for sure. And so, you know, I'm not going to regret anything, but I just kind of feel like I need to start putting myself a little bit first. And I think I've always been a little bit scared of that. Like, oh God, what a selfish bitch I am, thinking about myself first. And as we know from sessions, we have to love ourselves profoundly. And love gets thrown around all the time, right? But when it's just like fear, fear has many different labels. So you could be afraid of things, but not even identify it being fear. And love is the same thing. And loving ourselves does look like a huge range of different things. So, you know, it's as simple as, you know, what are we wearing to feel good? What are we eating in our bodies to feel good? And, you know, what are we drinking to feel good? You know, lots of water, right, people? So, God, the peer pressure I put on you guys, it's so intensive. Anyway, so there's that. It's a hobby. But in all sincerity, loving ourselves, it's a really important aspect of loving ourselves is making sure we're still happy. And let's be honest, are we really happy with the state of humanity, how disgusting it's gotten? And while it is awakening up, for frick's sake, what took you so long? It's so obvious, it's so corrupt, it's so naughty, and yet intelligent, kind adults still see these naughtinesses in their own careers and just dismiss it. No, it's always been like that. It's always been broken. Can't do anything. You can't change it. And it's like, oh, well, not with that freaking attitude. Nothing can be done with, oh, wow, it's always going to be corrupt. So, you know, you might as well just accept it. That's never been comfortable for me. I don't accept bad behavior. It's kind of one of my things. And yeah, I mean, I understand that it's easier just to go with the flow, even with really corrupt systems. And, you know, every day I'm getting little excitements of joy, seeing certain systems starting to be collapsing. Just as my second QHHT session as a client said, my subconscious, who was super chatty that session, which super confused me because I was not aware of any of this stuff. In fact, it actually sounded downright scary to hear that the planet was shifting and all of these industries and systems were collapsing. It sounded very interesting times. And here we are, living these very interesting times. And as we know, the power of the internet is a powerful tool. And it almost kind of seems silly that we've got all these smartphones that have got capabilities to reach all information around the world, and yet we're still sort of trusting one mainstream media or something else. So, you know, you've got all the tools on your phone to find the true information if you choose to. And I know that it's, you know, may take 5 clicks rather than 2 to find proof and tangible evidence of certain things that aren't empowering humanity. But, you know, I can understand that may be too hard for some people. So there's that. So, you know, I'm super passionate about this. I don't want you guys to feel like you have to go and riot and picket and, you know, clash with police to to get us moving forward. And I'm kind of concerned that some of you are feeling pressurized to, to go and to riot with police or camp, or, I want you to follow your hearts. And I truly, truly, truly want you all to be super happy. And I know that that's a challenge. It's almost as hard as loving yourself, being happy. It's not possible to be like freaking jazz handsing with joy, doing cleaning and seeing the news and hearing people dying, and all of that stuff, like, that's why we need our inner peace. That's why we need our balance. That's why we need to empower ourselves and be able to trust that we've got that capability of coping with anything. We're unbreakable. And this is the whole life that we have had has been training for these moments coming. And I know so many people who have been allowed to have really beautiful, normal lives and then be of profound service on the old earth. And that's an epic choice, I reward all of those big, brave souls who are here at this tremendous time and holding the line for their energy and then going to be of profound service on the old earth. It's a lot to process. And when I started hearing about the old earth, I thought, oh, that's where all the naughty kids go. Those all the naughty ones. That's basically hell, isn't it, Dolores? And I quickly learned differently. But I too I jumped to many conclusions and assumptions along my journey of understanding this work. And I have asked so many times on most clients who want to know about the new earth. I'm very particular. I was going to say I'm very particular with my words, but then I stumbled over, is that even the right saying? My questions I want to ask the subconscious is really specific, so it doesn't sound like I am coercing the subconscious. So I will often ask the subconscious, is it true that the new earth is here, subconscious? And then, we always hear, it's not, and you know it. but some of my clients don't know it. Because they have trusted other influencers to tell them that they're already on the new earth and that they're in the fifth dimension and everything's fantastic, and stop focusing on all the negative, because then you will just be brought back to 3D. Cute. Okay, so there is lots of negative happening, but we can look at it and deal with it and be balanced with it and not go into fear. Easy as, right? As soon as you remove those emotions. And as soon as you allow yourself to know that you can feel that, it is thick, it is dense, it is horrific, it is heinous, but purposeful for all of those people. So we don't need to buy into it. We just go with the flow, breathe, ground ourselves as much as possible. And there was another thing that they wanted to say. Oh, yes, bless. So people do share with me their QHHT sessions, especially when the subconscious will say that that Gaia is the new earth, and that they're going to be with Gaia. And it sounds like I've heard in a few sessions the practitioner doesn't understand that this is one planet, this is another planet, and the soul of Gaia is moving from one to another. Okay, so Gaia is moving, and people going to New Earth are moving with her. And so when people ask, is Gaia the New Earth? Yeah, I hear lots of interesting questions from practitioners, let's just say that, without naming names. So the planet is, we're not going to stay on the same planet. And that is quite a big mind bend for lots of people, because we quite like this planet, we're quite attached to it, and we've had probably, for some of you, thousands of these lives here. And so this is a big deal. This has been your home. And also original souls who have had their first physical lives on this planet. This is their home. this is their home. This is their home planet. This is a big deal. They are super attached to it. And so, they're really going through some big stuff because they wanted to master this third dimension on their home planet. They should have the right. And this is why the collectives are supporting those beings so much, because this is a big deal. You don't want to work all this way and get so close to mastering all of the 3D on this planet and then have it taken away from you prematurely, where you can't come back to be able to master it. And so all of these experiences are super and heightened to be able to give everyone the opportunity to be able to at least experience things so they can at least release them. Sorry, I know that there's so much to share, and they're wanting to just let people be reminded that the words you ask in sessions are super important, and understanding that Gaia is not the physical planet. Gaia is her soul. That's one of her names, is Gaia. The soul of this planet is not staying here on this planet. She is reincarnating onto a new planet. And it was an interesting day for me to experience learning that, in terms of, of course, a planet's soul would want to reincarnate. How silly of me not to think that. But every soul has opportunities to have reincarnations. And it's not just, the soul of a human, because us humans always think that we're the most and the only special beings here. Everything has it. And because I've done so many sessions and I've had so many clients be trees and animals and fish and a whole lot of things, it's very possible for people to have different life experiences, and having a planet's life experience and contract is a big deal, a super big deal. And, she is such a big soul, and we love her so much. And we feel so sorry for her having to experience that 3D experience that she had to endure, because it was torturous for her. And she almost went mad with the density, and she needed help. And she's okay with it, and she can see that what she endured and experienced is lessons for many souls who are thinking, I might be a planet next time. So everyone's learning from this. No hardship is going to be forgotten. And this is why it's been allowed to occur and go so offline and so crazy in some regards, is because these lessons and experiences are going to be applied universally for those creators who are wanting to choose more better harmony and balance, because being able to evolve naturally a third dimensional planet into a fifth dimensional planet is a big deal. And it's never been done with the humanoid bodies before. And so we were really close to getting it, and then we were really far from getting it too. And so we know things have changed. And this is where a lot of people have kind of got stuck in old information and still saying that the new earth is here. No, it's not. It's not. And I encourage everyone to have sessions. And I also encourage everyone who is having sessions with interns, please remind the interns to put key codes in with your sessions, because that means you can go back under quickly and get contact with your subconscious again really quickly. And I know it seems like a lot of interns forget that because, there's a lot to process and do in these sessions, a lot. And so they're quite overwhelmed at the original sort of first 100 sessions that they do, because this is big. This is a big responsibility doing these sessions. So a lot of people jump in thinking it's going to be really easy and fun, and you're going to get access to the universe. And ultimately, you have to have the right agenda and the right intent to be able to do this work well. And I see many people failing, unfortunately, because they just don't understand the principles of this work anyway. Not a judgment, an observation from hearing many sessions. So get a key code in with your interns. Trust that you won't just have to have one session. You are very capable of having many sessions. And because I have got so much lack of free time, I would be more open to doing sessions with people who have already got their key codes in. So then I know that we can just jump into it and explore it the most appropriate. Super important to be able to heal your personal past, this lifetime and all other lifetimes, and really get to the nitty-gritty of it. And some practitioners who are learning don't quite know how to explore the session to the best for their clients, and that is totally fine. They'll get there if they did enough of their own inner work, enough of their own personal sessions, and took this work really seriously rather than just a out of curiosity entertainment factor. They could still do really well, potentially, when they put in sincere intentions to be of service. So blah, 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 blah. I would love to hear from any practitioners that are open and honest enough to know and identify they haven't done enough of their own inner work to be comfortable with these sessions. I can help heaps of other practitioners find what's sticking for them. So please don't be shy. We all need to be honest with our with where we're at. And I'd love to be able to help any practitioners, because I know if I'm helping the practitioners, then I'm being able to help all of their clients too, through helping empower that practitioner. And this work is so important, and I encourage all to message me if you are needing more support. It is always uncomfortable when I see some practitioners who have got lots of inner work baggage and they are still trying to fumble with these sessions, because I just know it doesn't work out well. And why would you want to spend hours trying to support clients when you don't really support yourself, and you don't really know how to support them in these sessions and a whole lot of the stuff? So we don't have much time to fumble around anymore. We really need to sort of pull up our big boy and girl pants and really step up. And if you're calling yourself something, be it. Don't just assume that the title and the label that you put on yourself is enough to boost your ego. Actually step into it and actually do the best you can for this work. If anything, and this is in any industry, if you're doing something half-hearted, stop it. Stop it right now, because you're not empowering and making yourself happy. You're certainly not empowering and making other people happy. If you're doing it half-assed, stop, because you're impacting other people. And I'm always in this approach of doing everything to the max when it comes to helping humanity and helping people. And I don't sort of seem to have I'll just put in half efforts. We can't do half efforts because it's wasting our time. So really check in with yourselves. Are you putting in full effort and energy, or are you already kind of whatever? I just get paid anyway. Does it matter? It does matter. Sincerely, and sincerity. I'm fumbling. I'm almost about to swear. It does matter. It truly does matter. And it doesn't matter if you're getting great money if you're not putting in all of your effort and you're not finding happiness and joy and satisfaction of a job well done. There's not enough money to cover that and compensate that for your emotional morals. So please, I encourage you all to really look at your lives. Check in with every aspect. Are you happy? So many people don't want to think about that because they know that the answer will be no, I'm not. I'm actually quite miserable with my job and my husband or whatever. And so fantastic. Now you've identified the inner work, go for it. Unpack it, empower yourself through it, address it, acknowledge it, embrace it, love it, and empower yourself to make peace with it and to find your happiness instead of being stagnant and unhappy and not looking at it and being blinded to it. These are empowering days, so empowering. And I would really love for you to be able to just check in and see if you are happy with everything. And it's not like insane jazz hands happy. It is just, does it complete you? Does it match your soul? Does it empower you? Because I think a lot of people are trying to just somehow jump into this big love themselves but it's so many smaller aspects of their lives they're unhappy about it. So how can you attain that love when all your smaller foundation stones of aspects of your life don't give you joy, don't make you happy? And so how can you truly authentically love self if you've got your own sort of sticking stones? So anyway, for those who felt like I was directly talking to you, love you, and I truly want to honor you and be able to help assist you in any way. And just being brutally honest with ourselves is really important. It actually helps. You're clearing up and cleansing out all that clutter and actually addressing some things. And it feels good to address stuff and fix stuff and resort and organize stuff, because then you've got it just feels so good. Trust me, it feels good. Try it for 1 or 2 aspects of your life, and then you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm not tricking you into doing housework. Promise, that would be sick of me. Okay, I love you guys. Please, please, please consider looking at all of your happiness and feeling into what gives you happiness. You're totally worth it.